So you're me from the future. Yep. Uh, What up with the horns? In the future, it's stylish to wear Viking helmets. So in the future, dude, I mean, do I get married, have kids or something? Come on, at least tell me something. I will tell you one thing. What's that? Don't go see Star Wars Episode 7. It will ruin your thoughts on the entire series. Looper. Now, if you're planning on seeing Looper, I'll tell you one thing. You're completely safe with me. I'm going to be completely spoiler free. So, Looper is the story of Joe, and he is a Looper. And Loopers are specialized assassins. So, basically, when these criminal mob leaders in the future need a target, a certain person to completely get rid of, like existence gone in the future, they send them back in time to these guys called Loopers who just shoot them. They're dead in the past and burn their bodies, so basically, any existence of that person in the future is completely erased. But one day, Bruce Willis gets sent back to the past to get killed, and it turns out Bruce Willis is actually Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the future. So Joseph Gordon-Levitt has to kill himself, but Bruce Willis gets away, and then it's a big chase scene. I don't really want to get into the rest of the movie because that would be spoilers, and it's a lot different than you actually think it's going to be. The trailer hardly gives away anything, which was superb. Pretty blind going into this movie, and yeah, this movie was great. This is a fantastic film. There are slight problems, but besides that, it is awesome. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I mean, I love the guy as an actor and everything that I've seen him in. In this movie, the makeup job they did in this guy to make him look like Bruce Willis, they altered his nose and all this stuff is incredible. I mean, I don't know how they pulled that off. I don't need to tell you that Bruce Willis is great. Emily Blunt's really good too. And then there's this kid actor, this like I don't know how old the dude was, but he is a young kid and that guy can act. That little kid is such a good actor. It's a fantastic performance by such a small kid. Gotta give props to him. The whole way this movie is filmed is just incredible. I don't know, something about it. The camera work and the way the cameras they used made the movie look a little bit older, which was an interesting thing. I loved their take on the future, which was great. I thought it didn't look too ridiculous. The only thing about the future I didn't like is, I mean, you could consider this spoilers, but it's it's hardly anything. Is the cars they use? The cars apparently that are used in the future are the same cars used today. So we didn't invent any cars in the past or the next 30 years. So that makes no sense. Like I was saying, the future looks very plausible, besides the car thing. You know, everything in this future environment they built up, like lots of the shots are just on normal streets and in cornfields, and like that stuff actually exists, and it probably is going to exist 30 years from now, so that was great. Now, I will say one thing. If you're going into this movie thinking it's going to be a complete action film, fun time, you might be disappointed. This movie does have great action, and when it's there, it's great but it's very talky. There's a lot of talking. Not to say the talking is not fantastic, it is, but there is lots of talking. So I think if you're wanting just a kind of a summer-like action movie, this is definitely not the movie that you should go see. But there's lots of talking, and especially that scene that they're in the diner. That was one of my favorite parts of the movie. I thought that was fantastic. Just the whole story of Looper is so different and pretty much original. I mean, it does borrow from a few things, but the basic story is very original. It's confusing, and at the end, you know, you're talking to your friends or your siblings, like, "Whoa, wait, did this happen? Wait, no, that happened? Like, wait, what? You like you don't notice, like you. I'm sure this would be a great movie to go see over and over again. Now, that's one thing about this. I think the rewatch value on this might not be amazing because it's a little slow. I'll say that it's not fast paced at all. I watched it pretty late last night. It kept me awake, which is great, but it was slow, especially for the first maybe half hour. It's a little slow, while still very interesting. Um, it's not like doing much. So that's one thing I don't think it has a great rewatch value, but it's still fantastic. This movie's also scary. Like, I was pretty frightened by this movie, especially this little kid, which, if you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. This kid, dude, was creepy, and lots of the story part is just creepy and a little bit disturbing. So that was something I did not expect at all from this film. And my only other complaint that I have to say with the movie is that villains aren't exactly present in this movie. I mean, there are definitely villainous characters, but there isn't a big villain. There's not someone you're completely cheering against the whole time. And one of the mainer villains, I guess you could say, is a very cliche character. He's kind of like the loser rival of the main character, who basically ends up doing something well after the main character is kind of falling off the map. It's like, oh, look who's laughing now, like sleazeball kind of character. And that character's a little bit too cliche for such an original movie. I think they could have done something different with that character. But overall, Looper is such a great movie. I would definitely recommend going and watching it. If you're a literal kid, I mean, it is rated R. There's swearing and there's nudity and some pretty intense violence and a little bit creepy. So maybe if you're younger, this is not the movie for you. But if you're definitely, my age, teenager or young adult or adult even, you got to go see this movie. It's fantastic. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10 for slight problems. One of my favorite films of the year. This is Lee Parham signing off.